Welcome to everybody. My name is Flo Aderoju. 5 years ago, not 5 years now, it's now 5.5 years. April 2019, I personally was diagnosed with breast cancer, which came as a shock. It comes as a shock to everyone. I went through 2 surgeries, lumpectomy. I had the first surgery, but I didn't have clear margins. And so I had to go back for a second surgery. After my second surgery, I didn't need to do chemotherapy because it was found out that the surgery had sort of cut most of the cancer. It was cut at an early stage, and that's one of the main things we keep talking about, that breast cancer is not a death sentence, and early detection saves lives. So I believe that I caught it really early, so it had not spread anywhere else. And I had those 2 surgeries. Thereafter, I then went for radiotherapy, 15 sessions of radiotherapy. And as we know in life, your pain births purpose. And after I went through my own treatment, I then realized it's like, as we say, when you're driving a car and you suddenly you buy a car and you start seeing that car everywhere. So after my treatment, I just realized that breast cancer was so rampant. The other main thing I realized that it was sort of like a stigma and people wouldn't talk about it. So you find people who will have a diagnosis. Some people wouldn't go for treatment for fear of, there's so many things that have been said about chemo, and about different things. And some people just won't talk about it. And they'll even swear their partners to secrecy until it's too late. And then people pass from it. And it's been discovered that mostly people in the Black community fall into this category. And I know that either to do with faith, where we say it's not my portion, we've talked about this on different events, or we just have that fear. There are also a group of people who don't even go to check. They find a lump and they don't go to check for fear of it being cancer. But that's worse, because once you check, then you can sort it out. So after that, I became an advocate and creating awareness, for people, began supporting people, encouraging people, going through the process, the journey, and also supporting people financially, emotionally, physically, whatever it was. And that's why I'm here. I had an event in April, which was 5-year anniversary of my diagnosis. I had one in June. I haven't had one for a while, and we're going to continue doing this because even in the past few months, some of my loved ones again have been diagnosed with breast cancer, some right now going through treatment. So this is real. This is a real discussion we have to keep on having. And I know that by God's grace, by doing this, we will be able to save more people. Through my journey, I birthed an organization I call Pink Smile. Pink, it's the thing for breast cancer. And through that, I was fundraising and supporting people. Right now, it's going through the process of being registered as a proper charity in the UK so that we can do more. I have also put in funding because I've seen the need for a support group where people who are actually going through that journey and talk, where they can see people, going through the same thing and just feel really comfortable, to be able to talk about it and, not feel like they're an outcast or stigmatized or anything like that. So by God's grace, I will be sharing more information on that. By God's grace, the funding will be approved, and then we will set up a face-to-face support group, especially for people in the Black community, because, yeah, we just find it difficult to talk about this, but we have to keep on talking about it. So that's why we're here. And today, I have with me a very dear friend. Because of my journey, when I meet someone who has gone through the same journey, there is a connection. And that's how I connected with our guest speaker today. I was talking to Mabel, we were doing business together, and I found out that she had gone through the breast cancer journey, and obviously we started talking. And you're going to hear, as I've put out there, the different things that happened to her. The whole essence is trying to emphasize the point that early detection saves lives. Early detection saves life. I can't stop talking about it. And you need to go for screening. We're always too busy. You get your screening letter, you don't go. I know quite a few people who never found any lump, who never saw any kind of symptom whatsoever. They just went for their routine screening, mammogram, and discovered that they had breast cancer. So we're just going to keep talking about this and hope that things will get better. So I am just going to introduce Mabel to you, and then we're going to go from there. A lot of things to talk about, and we can ask questions as we go along. I'll let her talk, and then we can just ask questions. If you also have questions, please keep posting your questions in the chat, and we're going to take it. So without much ado, because I want her to be able to talk and I want us to be able to take questions, so I won't be saying too much. So Mabel Okafor is a passionate health influencer who uses what she calls the 4 Fs, which we're going to discover what that is today. And that the 4 Fs, by the way, yes, it helped her in her cancer journey, but this is a health thing that will help anybody. So Mabel uses the 4 Fs healthy mission to inspire people all over the world to live a healthy lifestyle. Her vision was born after she overcame all the negative reports of terminal breast cancer by faith and was given 6 months to live. Her mission is to encourage individuals with the knowledge of the 4 Fs. I won't mention that here. She has it here, therapies, so that they can live a healthy lifestyle and overcome illnesses and diseases. A mission received from her from God's word in Luke 22:32, which says, when you have overcome, strengthen your brethren. That's paraphrased, which is what she's all about. She founded the Victory Praise platform, which she uses God's word and praises to encourage individuals to build up their faith over fear in order to win the battles with cancer and other sicknesses. She works as a project analyst in a project management office, assisting in delivering projects, and she lives in Harpenden, UK with her family. She loves God and works every day to strengthen her faith, enjoys exercising and eating healthy foods, and constantly learning new skills to inspire her world, be healthier and wealthier while having fun in life. And it is important to note that Mabel was at chemotherapy yesterday. And this is what I find amazing about her. When Mabel goes for chemotherapy today, we're chatting later in the evening or we're chatting tomorrow. And this is just God's grace. And so I'm just going to bring on Mabel to share a bit of her story just to encourage us. I know there will be people here who might have had a diagnosis, who might be going through treatment, and what we're about today is for us all to be encouraged that you can get through this. And I hope that seeing Mabel will be an encouragement to people that you can get through this. So I'm just going to bring Mabel up as we clap our hands just to have her. So welcome, Mabel.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you so much for being here. We were going to have this yesterday, but obviously when we knew that she was going for chemo, and I said, are you going to be okay to do this today? And she was like, yes, sis, once I have a good sleep overnight, I'll be fine. So thank you for, for doing that and for being here. I'm going to try and pin you so we don't keep going off and on. Or if one of the co-hosts, please, can do that. I can't see. Okay, maybe I'll just come and just talk so that I can see you and
Problem.
right. Okay.
I've just put on spotlight. Does that work?
Yes.
Yes, I can
Perfect.
see that
Okay,
now.
works.
Yeah,
So you
good
can
evening,
do.
everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation and joining us this evening. I'm really, really privileged and excited to be in your midst, sharing my testimony. I call it testimony. It's been a journey, but God has been faithful in this journey. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So what I'm going to do, yeah, because my friend will talk. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it like asking her the questions. And as I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to put your questions in the chat as we go along. We'll take questions. So first of all, Mabel, it's amazing to have you here. And I'll just say, just give us an introduction of your journey, as in briefly tell us in the first place, what led to August 26th, 2016? What made you go to the doctor in the first place?
All right. So before I jump into that story, I'm just going to thank you, Fola, for the opportunity to come on this platform to share my testimony. And I want to thank Almighty God. I couldn't have been alive without God on my side. It has been by the grace of God. And I want to thank every one of my friends and family who have honored the invitation to come over. So what led to the diagnosis in 2016? From my story, like Fola was saying, nobody in my family has cancer. I'm the first person from a large family to have cancer. And so it wasn't something that we were going to be checking or doing regular checks or do mammogram and all that. So it wasn't something that I actually gave attention to. So one day, myself and my husband were just relaxing, and while doing our normal duty, he just touched my breast. I'm like, sweetheart, what's this lump? Yeah, I said, lump, okay. There can't be lump on my breast. I said, touch. I touched it and I felt a very little lump. I'm like, what would that be? So he was like, okay, maybe we'll have to check in with the doctors. I don't know. I really cannot tell what it is, but that was the beginning of the whole journey. We went, booked an appointment, went to the hospital, and these are days they did their checks and felt it and sent me for a biopsy test, and the results came out. It was declared that it was stage 3 cancer. A small lump that I never noticed came out to be a stage 3 cancer, and that was in 2016, August. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's important to note here, because also when I found my lump, it was very little. Almost you couldn't see it. And, when I was sending out a message, I was saying to the men, this is not, because sometimes we have this event, people say, oh, it's for women, it's for all of us. And it's interesting to note here that her husband was actually the one that noticed that lump. So it could happen anyway. It's just about us being alert and knowing our bodies and just saying what symptoms, what are the changes. So if you're aware of your body, yes, lumps can be very little. And it's important to know that
Very, very little. It's not something you even notice.
Men also have breast cancer, by the way. It's just obviously more rampant in women. So when you got to the hospital, what happened? You said they obviously told you that you had cancer, and then what happened? What was the treatment? What was told? What did they say to you? What treatment were you then meant to have?
So after the biopsy, this biopsy test, it took almost a month before they could come up with a conclusion of it that it was cancerous. So they gave me a plan of treatment, and that plan of treatment was to have a lepectomy done, as to take out that lump, go for irradiation, and also do chemotherapy. So
Okay.
those 3 treatments was lined up for me. I did the operation, and also did the radiotherapy. And when it was time, the doctor just said that after the 2 stages of treatment, I'm just going to have the chemotherapy to kind of finish up the cells, if there are any cells they could not find, because the lepectomy was, they took out as much tissues they could take out from the affected area. So the chemotherapy was the battle of my life that I ran like it's a death sentence that was given to me. But I was so ignorant at that time because it wasn't something that had come across. It wasn't something I was familiar with. And all I hear is that, oh, chemo kills, chemo kills. So myself and my husband, though, like Fola was saying, most, especially the Black community, were not so conversant with cancer, chemotherapy. It might be very popular now, but at that time, 2016, 2015, it wasn't that common. So when they were saying I'll go for chemotherapy, it's as if they've given me death sentence. I just said, no, I think I'll go for an alternative treatment. And, it wasn't, I didn't actually do it. I didn't do it.
Interesting. So I know you're writing a journal, and we're hoping that by God's grace, by early next year, you have a book out. And, it's interesting because you said in that journal that the doctors had told you, you said they said it can be treated. It was at an early stage and treatment began. So even though the doctors told you it's early stage, so at this point it can be treated and you'll be fine, but you still refuse to do the chemo. What was the main, I know you've said that, so was it just because you felt you had heard a lot about chemo, that chemo wasn't good? Did it also have to do with faith, where you felt, oh, you will be healed of it? Or because it's important to note, there might be people here who are thinking, I don't want to do chemo because of this or that. So what was the main reason of this?
Yeah, thank you, Fola, for that question. I think it's going to bring out a lot of things. First of all, we're faith people. And the normal faith, Nigerians or African faith, is that God forbid is not my portion. Oh no, I'll overcome this by faith and nothing can happen to me. So first of all, my faith was really intact. I was like, no, I am a servant of God and I'm going to fight this by my faith. By faith, I shall overcome it. So I held on to my faith. And secondly, the chemotherapy, when they said I should go for it, like I said, it sounded like a death sentence to me. So I said, no, I'm not going for it. And the doctors encouraged me. I had a very wonderful oncologist, and she was so particular about my case. She was like, Mabel, I've had a lot of Africans come here, they go, they say they have faith, and 2 years down the line, they are gone. Please, I don't want your case to be the same. Please, please, please. Can you trust me? I know what I'm doing. I'm like, Dr. D, I know, and I understand you know what you're doing, but I don't want to do it. I believe God so well that this thing will not come back and it will not affect me. You've done your part. Let me go and finish the battle with my faith. So this persuasion was on for 1 year. From 2016 August, I had the operation, till 2017 August. They tried to persuade me. They used all the senior doctors, the oncologists, everybody to persuade me. The highest consultants in the hospital, in that cancer treatment department, they tried everything to persuade me and my husband, and I refused. And Popular NHS, they discharged me at 2017 after not accepting the treatments. So I didn't know that was the beginning of another battle for me, another challenge in my life. Like, I look back and I said, if I had known that time. I just want to point something out. You see, myself and Fola, we had the same battle, but taking the right decision made the case different. made it different. But thank God for grace. Thank God for his mercy that kept me alive to be here sharing my own testimony with you. So from our story, you're going to learn a lot today. And that's what we are driving at, trying to persuade, especially the African people, to learn. A lot of people are falling victims. We're losing a lot of people. And just one information, one idea can change or save a lot of people's life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I specifically drilled into that question because this is one of the major issues that we have in the Black community and in the Christian community also. It's not my passion, I reject it. It's going to be fine, God will heal me. I am a Christian, I'm a born-again Christian, and I do understand the place of healing, and I have experienced the healing power of God in different areas of my life and my family. But it's just important to note here, and as you said, the doctor, you said, spoke with you,
The
said
oncologist,
a
the
lot of
surgeon.
Africans, so we're known for this. And as I say to people, it doesn't glorify God if you don't have your treatment and then you pass at the end of the day. So it is so important. Of course, it doesn't mean that everyone who has treatment survives it, but you've got to give it every shot that you can.
Yes.
You have to give it every shot that you can. I know someone who, not only that you might even be planning to take it. I know someone who went through this and she was doing chemo, and honestly, she was so ostracized and she was being told of, why are you even doing that and all that. And she just came out on social media and said, you know what, I am doing chemotherapy. Please don't talk to me about it. Don't call me, and all that. Let's give it a chance. Let's give life a chance. Let's give treatment even a chance. And we're still going to come to that, where you came to the realization that we need to combine everything. We combine holistic, we combine the medical, we combine faith and every other thing. And this is one of the major messages we're trying to put out there. Number one, early detection saves lives. So if you catch it early, please don't sit at home. If you notice a lump, go straight to the doctor. It's not only a lump, there are different symptoms. A change in your breast, a puckering, a discharge, whatever it is. And as women, please, we need to keep doing self-examination. Just check, put up, as I say, put up your hands, check all that, even to this bit, check everywhere. If there's any change. In July, I was at the hospital for different scans, because once anything happens, because of the journey I've been through, I go to the hospital. I don't care if I go and they say there was nothing wrong, I come back and I feel that same thing the next week. I'm back in there. Better safe than sorry, as they say. Just keep going back. Keep going back. And because I have been through the cancer journey, they fast track whatever they need to do for me. Please keep going back. I thought I felt a lump again in my breast in July. I went back. I went for the scan, they checked, and they said it was just tissues. It was the place where I did the radiotherapy. But I had peace. I went back. So also there are people who find lumps 1 year, 2 years, it's benign, everything is fine. So they find it again and they say, oh, there was nothing wrong 2 years ago. Please go back. I've seen people that happened to, and that third time it was cancer. So we're just encouraging people, early detection, go get yourself checked, and also please just give yourself that chance and go for treatment. So Mabel, you refuse treatment.
Sorry, before we go to the third one, there's something I need to just ask you so that everybody get the right information. I've told people try and do your mammogram, and they're like, oh, they have to turn 50 before they do that. I'm not so sure. I thought it was 40 before they get the NHS mammogram.
In the UK, it's 50.
It's 50.
In the US, it's 40. So again, this is one of the things that Pink Smile wants to be doing. And we need to start some advocacy to change
Yes.
certain policies, because now the age at which people are getting breast cancer is quite lower than 50.
It's quite lower. So 50 is too late.
Yes, but that's what it is in the UK. So that's one of the advocacy that is going to be happening, bringing down the age where you can start having your mammograms. So it is 50 in the UK, but by God's grace, as we go along, that's going to change.
Is it possible also that people do it privately, because there is this
You can do it
private
privately.
healthcare services?
You can do it
people are paying
privately.
for
You can
now?
have your mammogram done whenever you want to do it. You can do it privately if you want to do it. So yeah. So
Thank you.
2016, you left, you were discharged in 2017 because you refused to have chemo. And so
Chemotherapy.
what happened? What were you doing between 2017 and 2019? And what happened?
Okay.
Very quickly.
Yeah, so 2017, when I was discharged, like the faith thing we're talking about, I decided to go to Nigeria and see my man of God. Like, I need hands to be laid on me. You know, when you're faced with cancer, you're very desperate. You want to use every force you have to help yourself. And I was like, I want to go and meet him. Then my mom, also, I needed to see my mom to meet with her. So I just used the opportunity to go to Bishop David Oyedepo, and he prayed for me. He said, my daughter, go and come back with your testimony. Nothing will happen to you. God is on your side, you know. Fine, he prayed for me. I believed the prayer, and I still strongly believe the prayer works. But when that was 2017 October, when I came back, I started doing holistic treatment. I got a doctor, and this came as a result of Faith Without Works is Dead. So I started looking for extra ways. Myself and my husband started looking for ways to get me to have holistic treatment. So I met with a doctor that is holistic. She started treating me through food and supplements. So I was using food and supplements to take the treatment. And at that time, I was working as a project analyst with a company, and it was a contract base. So 2018, July, my contract came to an end. It was a very expensive private program I was paying for myself and my husband. And at that 2018, when my contract came to an end, I couldn't foot the bill anymore. And apart from just footing the bill, it's really, really stressful trying to maintain healthy diet with little children. I had 3 children at that time, and they were like, one was 9 and the other one was 7, and my other baby was about 2 or 3 years old. So it was a bit stressful for me. And 2018, I just could not continue anymore with the treatment. So that particular private holistic treatment stopped there while I was trying to set my life back, doing a lot out. I think I just trying to get another job. So, you know, looking for a job is stress on its own. So I just think that I was too full of stress. There was so much stress all over me while trying to get my life back and trying to get treatment done. That was it. So that kept me to 2018. And at that 2018, I noticed that the lump started growing back again. After the lepectomy operation that was done, the lump started growing back. And when that lump was growing, it was growing inwards. It was going inside, taking all the skin and going in. And I remember when the doctor was talking to me about not refusing the chemo, he said, time will come that if case I start feeling some funny movements in my back and my ribs and all that, I should know that the cancer is spreading. So when that 2018, I started feeling terrible pain. My back was so painful, my ribs painful, my hips, I was feeling pain in my bones, not just in the flesh, in the bones. You can't, if I touch my skin, I don't feel any pain, but in the bones, I was feeling the pain. And the back, especially the back, especially in the morning, I can't stand up. When I'm trying to stand up, my whole back is like broken. You know, my husband was like, what do we do? This is getting out of place. What do we do? And that's 2018 towards 2019. I finally secured a new job as a project analyst with Hertfordshire Council. So, trying to solve it's when you are in a survival mood, then you tend to overcome or tend to bear every pain you're going through. At that time, I was facing terrible pain, but my focus was getting my job and taking care of my family to support my husband. So when I finally got the job at 2019, the pain was terrible. So I had to call a friend of mine who is a food nutritionist. I didn't tell her at first, this idea of not disclosing to people, not sharing your challenges with people, just pray and believe God for your healing. That was the mood I was in. So I didn't really call a lot of people. When I called this lady, she said, Mabel, I knew you were facing a challenge. This is not the Mabel I know. And I had to tell her what the pain was, what I've gone through from 2016. And the next stage was like, you have to call the hospital. You have to go back to the hospital. So when I called the hospital in 2019, and lucky me, I was able to speak to my surgeon, and she was like, Mabel, I'm so happy to hear from you. And the fact that you are alive, I am grateful. In fact, what is it? I told her, and she was like, immediately they're putting me on quick consultation and scan. And God, I believe God was just on my side. God really showed me mercy. Some people's case never get to that level and they are gone. They are gone. God showed me mercy. I believe God had mercy on me. So they quickly did the scan and came out in a week. And the lady, in fact, I was in the office when they called me. I remember then when I used to go to work, drive my car, how I managed to drive and get to work. Even my laptop, I was telling for like, I can't even carry my laptop. I put the laptop on the floor and kick the laptop into the lift. If I get to where people are high, I gather strength to carry that laptop. I don't know. But I knew I was dying slowly. I knew, but God showed me mercy. So she called me and the scan result came. She was like, Mabel, you have a fraction in your back. There is a tumor in your back. The thing has fractured your back. I don't know how you're walking. I don't know how you're standing. I don't know how you're doing what you're doing. But at this moment, we're sending an ambulance to pick you up from the office. I'm like, oh my God, Dr. Dio, is it that bad? She said, yes. I said, Dr. Dio, please. I'm in a very big office with so much people. Can I come into the hospital? He said, no, you can't come into the hospital. You can't even drive your car out of where you are, It was so shocking, so surprising that day. Somehow my husband came and took me to the hospital in 2019, April. 2019, May. No, April 14th. And that was how they hospitalized me and started stabilized me. At that time, they gave me braces to wear. And I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. They did all manner of checks and everything. And from 2019, April, I had to start chemotherapy. The chemo I refused. I had to start the chemotherapy. And I did almost 26 rounds of radiotherapy to stabilize me back. And a year later, I did a mastectomy to remove the whole breast out because the cancer cells are eating the breast and there is no way they could save anything. So they took it out. So that was my journey. And I don't know if allow me to go into the story of giving me a sentence of at that 2019, they said it's incurable. They can't cure it anymore. It has become a terminal disease and that I have to live with it. In fact, after the 2 weeks, when they diagnosed that, they said they don't know if I'll live up to 6 months, but they give me 6 months to live. And after the discharge, I was going to go to hospice. I was like, me, go to hospice. They said, well, they are not sure of what can come out of the case because it's beyond their treatment. It's beyond what they can help. But the only thing is that they're just going to manage my life, manage me, and see how I come. So I refuse going to hospice again. I said, no, God has not given up for me. I'm not going to give up on myself. So let me go home. And I believe the God who has sustained me to this very moment is going to keep my life. And here I am today from that 2019 to this is 2024, living by faith. I give
Amen.
God all the
Okay.
praise.
I'm going to come back to the 4Fs because I know people want to, hear what you did. And I mean, you are a miracle. That's all I
I
can
know.
say.
I am a miracle.
But I just want to emphasize, we cannot overemphasize this point.
Yes.
See what happened to you because you refused treatment in
Yes.
2016. I know you told me the thing spread to your hips, to your ribs, and then obviously it broke that at the back. And you did say that that bone was very near to your spinal cord.
Very, very close to my spinal cord.
So, I
Very
mean, that
close.
could have been it. And then
Could
you
have
went
fractioned me. It could have turned me
paralyzed you.
paralyzed me. But God, in His infinite mercy, kept it away.
So again, we just keep, on with that message. I don't know if you might be here and, you're contemplating, should I have treatment? Should I not have treatment? If you know anyone, in this situation, please encourage them, especially if it is detected early or already you are in a place of advantage. Just
Yes.
go for treatment. Yes, we thank God Mabel is here today, but she sure suffered for that refusal of chemo. And really, God has a plan for your life because you wouldn't have been here.
I
You
couldn't
sure
have
would
been.
not have been here. We are Christians. By the way, Mabel is a deaconess and she's the wife of a pastor, actually. Yes, she didn't go for treatment initially, but then she did. And I guess that treatment, and of course, with God's, help, she's here today. Again, I'm also a born-again Christian. I did go for treatment. So we're just sending a message out here. It is just so important. Let's also speak up. I'm going to ask you about the 4Fs first before we go to support system. Support system is also important. As the Black community, let's not even put people in the situation where they find it difficult to talk or to speak. As I said at the last event I have, you have people making all sorts of comments in this whole Christendom that we're in. Someone hears they're in this situation and someone tells you, oh, you allowed the devil in, or you did not whatever your territory properly. These are the things that don't make people
Not
talk.
praying well enough.
You're not praying. You didn't pray well. You should have prayed better.
That's why the devil has attacked you.
These are the things why
another thing people
find it.
say is that someone is afflicting me. How? Nobody is afflicting you. Your results, your health
Your
is
decisions
as a
also.
result of your inability to take care of yourself. So that idea that somebody is attacking me, somebody is against me, is one thing that is affecting people from coming out to really ask for help or do early detection for their health.
Amen. I'm just going to very quickly go through because there's something on the chat that, I know someone else who went through this. First of all, Sarah, so sorry to hear about your friend's daughter, who passed, as we said, age of 30. So we're saying 50. People are having cancer, breast cancer now at a very early stage. And it's interesting what Hadiza has said here. I'm currently undergoing treatment. I was invited to participate in a trial that involved only surgery and medication, with no chemotherapy and radiotherapy. However, I decided to decline and proceed with chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and medication instead after seeking for a second opinion. God bless you. And thank God you did that. We have to be careful. It's these trials. I love what you said, seeking for a second opinion. When I was going through treatment and when I was supporting people after that, I have people I go to. You have to do research. You have to speak out. You have to reach out. You have to find out from people. If you have people who are doctors, find out from them. This is what was said. What's the best way? If Hadiza had decided, oh, I'm going to take that and not do her chemo and radiotherapy, I mean, you really, really, really need to know what you want to do and push and push. There is also a thing about disparities in the Black community to do with treatment, to do with access to treatment and all that. So you need to push, and keep pushing. So yes, and someone says, yes, keep going for treatment. A pastor was diagnosed, sought treatment, and today he's free. Hallelujah. That is a pastor. So we need to do what we need to do and just keep on going and, speaking out. Let's speak out. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do this so that people don't keep thinking this is a stigma. The more you speak out, the more you will find help, seek help. And that's why we're here. That's why the Pink Smile that, we've started that work to support. Mabel is here. We're advocates now and just doing what we need to do to get it out there and get people, getting better, getting healed, getting the treatment they want. So I'm just quickly going to go to those 4 F's because I think that's important for people to know. As I said, welcome everybody that wasn't here when we started. My name is Flo Aderoju. This is Mabel, who is a warrior, I will say. She was at chemo just yesterday. She was in chemo. That's why we didn't have this yesterday. But here she is today talking, she's fine. She's had over 45 chemo sessions over the past 5 years, and she keeps having it. She has chemo. How often do you have chemo now?
Every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks.
2 weeks. She has it every 2 weeks now. This is because of what happened where she refused chemotherapy in 2016 and the cancer spread, broke her back. And then now she has chemo. It's like it's not chemo to cure, right? So that's why she's been having chemo every 2 weeks for 5 years now.
Yes.
So before you go into the 4 F's, which we're going to go through right away, what is the main lesson? What are the lessons learned that you want to share and let people know? These are the lessons I've learned. If I knew better, I would do this, I will do that, I will do that.
Yeah, Fola, thank you very much for this opportunity once more. And I'm happy that a lot of people are online. If we times the number of people we have, I'm sure each person is going to help like 5 or 2 or 5 people. So we have more numbers here and lives will be saved. My lesson I want to share with everyone is that early detection save. Early. If try and do your personal examination of your body, like Fola said, keep touching your breast. I have 1 breast left now. So every day I touch it, I check and see what is happening in my body. Sincerely, if you take note, if you're gonna be taking note of your body, you will know when there is a difference in your body. Then also doing our mammogram, I'm hoping that we will find a way to do early mammogram. We're getting to have people that are getting cancer at the age of 25, 22, 30. I think Fola just talked of someone that passed at the age of 30. I've met a lot of people, younger people getting it. So we can also help our daughters to keep checking for them too. Don't say they are too young, they can't have breast cancer or they can't be diagnosed. They can. We're not praying for it, but being alert helps a lot. If I was alert, if I had network of people who were enlightening me on how to check and look at my body, I'm sure I would have noticed it before my husband. But because it wasn't something that was in my family, I never looked into it. That's why. So thirdly, I'm going to really appeal to everyone here. Please, if peradventure you are detected with breast cancer, chemo does not cure. That was my wrong perception that made this case to get to this terminal state. And I really would not wish anyone in this kind of situation. It has been a stressful journey. It has been a challenging one, but I thank God for grace that's kept me. And when you hear the news that you have breast cancer and it's terminal, some people can die from that week. I've heard stories of people who they diagnosed that they have cancer, and the next week they are already emaciating, they are dying off. So please, if anyone is detected, take all the rounds of treatment. Cancer is a very aggressive disease that needs all power, all forces to fight it from the beginning. So some people might not have a strong faith like I do by the grace of God, but even if your faith is strong, please take your treatments. We're going to show you what you will need to strengthen your immune system so that you can withstand the chemotherapy. Chemotherapy, what happens is that when your immune system is not strong, when you're having chemotherapy, it kills the white blood cells. And those white blood cells is what you need to fight infections. So when the white blood count is low, you begin to catch any infection. And once infection comes on you, takes your life. So that's what kills, not the chemotherapy, or the chemotherapy weakens your immune system. But there is something like the 4 healths can help boost your immune system. So for instance, myself, I've had over 45 chemotherapy. I've not had one infection. During the lockdown, I was going to the hospital like every week. Then my chemotherapy treatment was every week, every week. I was going to the hospital every week, and they tried to get me to take the vaccine. I said, no, I'm not taking the vaccine. Why? Because I was protecting my immune system. And I said, the only thing fighting for me is faith and immune system. I joke not with my immune system. I'm not taking. They're like, if you don't take it, you have to be doing the test every week. I said, don't worry, I will drive here and take that test every week. And by the grace of God, no COVID. I never had COVID. Going out every week despite the lockdown, no COVID. So I really give God thanks for sustaining my immune system. My pastor will say that the presence of God is your immune booster. So I knew the word of God was boosting me, and also the works I was doing. So I will go into the 4 F's to explain to you how I manage to sustain my health. So the 4 F's are faith, food, fitness, and fasting. These 4 F's: faith, food, fitness,
and fasting. Okay.
These 4 F's, I supplemented them with the chemotherapy treatment I was taking. I noticed that the chemotherapy treatment was going to kill my white blood cells. It kills the bad cells and the good cells. So that's your white blood cell count goes down while the cancer cells are dying. So it doesn't have the ability to separate just to kill the bad cells. It kills the white cells. So if anyone is diagnosed, you will have to step up your game by boosting your immune system up. So once your immune system is up, then you will be okay. You won't have any infection. You won't have any side effect from the chemotherapy. So another thing the hospital do to help you is that they do regular blood checks. So before you go for the chemotherapy, they'll do a blood count, a blood check for you. And on that blood check, there is a place where you see where your blood count is, the white blood count and the red blood count. So once it's on the right portion, it gives you a number range. Once it is in the right range, then they allow you to take the treatment. But if it's not in the right range, you don't go for the treatment, because they need your cells to come back to the right cells. So those are ways that they help. So what did I do in terms of faith? The Bible said the just shall live by faith. The word of God is spirit and is life. First of all, we're spirit being before we're physical being. So once your spirit is intact, once your spirit man is intact, then your body follows suit. So he said, we shall He said, as a man thinketh, so is he. So
Yes,
I
that's so
fill
easy,
my
right?
faith, I fill my mind with the word of God. I have daily devotions, I have daily confessions I speak to myself. So when they come with the negative reports, I just say, thank you very much, doctor. I appreciate your work, but that is not my portion. Like we say, it's not our portion, but you're speaking faith. The reason why you're saying that is because you want your spirit man to be alive. So the
Right.
word of God feed your spirit man. So you must build your faith. It is essential you build your faith. Another thing is fear. Fear. What kills, like I will say, cancer don't kill. What kills is fear. And
Mm.
what counters fear is faith.
Mm.
So if you need to counter fear, you need to have strong faith. I remember at the beginning when in 2016, when we were diagnosed with this terrible disease, I've always been a faith person. If you go to Living Faith Church, one thing that you're known for is strong faith. And I held on to my faith. I said, Lord, I'm a servant of God. You said, if I serve you, you will take sickness away from my midst. So it broke me. I cried. I cried. I'm a human being. Nobody they will
Yes.
tell had cancer will not cry. I cried, but thank God for a wonderful husband I had. My husband encouraged me. He told me, oh, he encouraged me. Say, Mabel, it is not the end of life. We're in this battle together. We will overcome together. Be strong. And he reminded me of my service. He was always reminding me of the word of God. And I tell you, that thing really helped me. So if, for example, you don't have a husband or a wife that is strong in faith, please surround yourself with people who are strong in
What
faith.
system?
And you yourself read the word of God and believe the word of God. When I came back from the hospital in 2019, when they said I was supposed to go to hospice, I waited on the Lord for 3 days. And I said, God, I need a word. I need a word I will hold on to. And on the third day, I just opened my Bible. I opened to Jeremiah 20. I opened to Jeremiah 20, 11 to 13. And the word came straight to me. It entered my spirit. He said, the mighty, awesome God is with me. My enemy shall stumble and they shall not prevail.
Amen.
And the verse 13, he said, praise me for I've delivered you out of the hands of the evil ones. That
Amen.
has been my testimony.
Okay.
Praise me for I've delivered you out of the evil one. So I held on to that word. Every time fear comes to my mind, I said, God, you said you are with me. Mighty, awesome God, you are with me. The devil cannot take my life. God has given me
Amen.
eternal life. He cannot take my life. So
I'm going to keep
that was what
moving you
faith
into
did.
the other ones.
Yeah, so that
Okay,
was
so
what
that's
faith
faith.
did for me. So please
Mhm.
seek your word and hold on to your word. Use your
Okay.
word to counter fear. Then the second one is food.
Mhm.
We're humans. What feed our body is food.
Yeah.
We have to have the right food. Now, cancer cells feed on sugar. A majority of our foods are sugar. The ends are sugar. Fruit ends are sugar. So if you know that sugar is what feeds cancer cells, then you want to counter sugar. That means you have to change your diet. You have to go for less carb and go for more protein, more vegetables and water and vitamin. So in changing your diet, you must reduce your sugar. So rice, you reduce sugar, yam, you reduce all those white flour
Carbohydrates.
foods, reduce them. And time will not allow us to go into the kind of food you really need to eat, but every one of us can Google less sugary food, food that ends as sugar. Most of the food that ends as
Carbs.
sugar,
Yeah.
eliminate them, especially carbs. Try and reduce them or look for alternative to those carbs. There are a lot of alternative. Then protein. Our chicken, I will specifically specify on chicken. The chickens are grown with too much hormones, and those hormones interfere with our body cells. Please, if you love your life, cut out the chicken, except you go for organic. If you can afford organic, fine, but try and eat less of it. Then the beef, filled with hormones. Those hormones interfere with our body cells. Try and eliminate them. Then we will now go for supplements. You
Mm.
must supplement. We Africans, we cook our food too much. And in the process of cooking, we kill the nutrients. Our body feeds on raw food, organic raw food. I will encourage you to go for organic raw food because the main fruits and vegetables we see in the market that are not organic are being grown with a lot of pesticides. Those pesticides affect our body cells. They allow us take a lot of chemicals into our body. So one thing you want to avoid taking in is chemical. These chemicals come through fruits and vegetables. If you look at especially your broccoli, carry your broccoli and put it under the tap, you see that the water never penetrates through because they've been sprayed with pesticides to preserve them enough for us to eat. So if you go on Amazon, there are some fruity wash. There are some things that people buy to spray on them and they wash them, it takes them off. Or you can use your bicarbonate of soda to soak your fruits and vegetables overnight. And it helps to eliminate those pesticides they spray on them. Those are one of the major things. Time will not allow me to take you through all the causes of free radicals. Free radicals are what affect our body cells, and those pesticides are part of what causes free radicals to our body. Then we've talked about
sorry, just to take you back a bit. Sorry, Mabel.
Yeah.
When you say raw foods, just to be clear on that. So what are you referring?
Okay, yes, raw foods. We're talking of juicing. You need to juice your fruits and vegetables at least once a day.
Yeah, when you say raw foods, yeah.
Once a day, try and take in raw food. So your vegetables, I encourage you to eat more vegetables than fruits. Fruits ends up as sugar. So if you're going to eat fruits, eat them in a little way because you're trying to eliminate sugar from your body. Then when you're doing your juicing, you do juicing, you can take your food in form of salad, you can take it in form of smoothie. So these are the way to get those raw foods into your body. So if you go to my page, which Fola is going to be sharing at the end of the day, my health page on Instagram, there are loads of ways that I share ideas on how to eat your food raw. So cooking the food will kill the nutrients. And because Africans will love cooking our food, we end up not taking nutrients into our body. What feed our cells are nutrients. So you want to be intentional with your food. Don't feed your stomach, feed your cells.
Okay.
It's not our body that gets sick, it's our cells that get sick. So when you start feeding your cells, you will not age, you will not have sickness, you will not have disease. So one way to feed your cells is through raw food. Then the second way to feed your cells is supplements. You must supplement and go for a very good supplement. One thing that kept me glowing like this is raw food and right supplements. And the faith life in me. You know, when God is in you, he radiates through you. But there are times that some people's body will be so weak, so they're not seeing the glory of God in them. So you need to take care of the outside while you're taking care of the inside. Okay. Then another thing for food, please, I know the time is fast going, is water. You must get your water right. The water we drink, water from the tap and bottled water, please, sorry, I'm going to emphasize on this. I'm really going to emphasize on it. You have to change your water, alkaline water. It helps a lot. The tap water is polluted. The bottled water, the bottle emits chemical into our body. When I was talking, I said avoid chemical. Those chemicals that go into our body, they interfere with our body cells and causes damage to our body cells. So look for the right water. If you want to get more information on how to get right water, I will help you with that.
Mabel has become a G in this her journey.
Fola, you see me living today by the grace of God. Thank God. When you are faced with death,
when you're faced with things, obviously. So
I changed my water. They say change your water change your life. I change my water. I change my pots. The pots we use emit chemical into our body. I change my pot. I change my food. I went for if you know me, I don't waste money to buy bag, to buy shoes. First thing I want to eat is my supplement.
Health is wealth.
Health is wealth. You must have health before you enjoy the wealth.
Okay. So that's faith.
Faith, food, then I don't know, should we give
Someone said at this rate we'll not be able to eat and drink, but
my
we thank God. So
sister,
that's faith.
the way
So
cancer is rampant.
I know. You've got to do what you've got to do.
You have to do what you have to do.
So sorry, I just want to summarize those ones, then we'll go on the two. So we've talked about faith, obviously, your faith in God, the word of God. We've talked about food, and in food, we've said just trying to reduce carbs, increasing more of vegetables, and then having supplements that you can add to it to take. And then, well, you are talking of water. Well, all these things are personal. These are all things that obviously Mabel has done that has worked for her, you know. And then, so those are the two of the 4 F's. So we have 2 others so that we'll move into that. So, and the third one.
The third one is fitness.
Which
you have to exercise. I remember when my surgeon, she kept saying, Mabel, if you do 30 minutes walk every day, you are good. And I strongly run with that. 30 minutes walk, I walk for 1 hour. Try to do it on daily basis, at least minimum 3 days. Then under the fitness part, which is the exercise, I go for my walk. There's this vibration plate I have at home. The days I can't walk, I go on my vibration plate. So what that vibration plate does is that it oxygenates your cells and allow blood to flow through. When oxygen goes through your body, the blood begins to flow. When your blood is not flowing, the cells are not well nourished. So you want to do exercise. Walking allows oxygen to flow through your body. And when oxygen goes through your body, it's allow the cells to function properly. So in some like if in India, even in UK, yeah, they do it. Oxygen is one of the form of treatment for cancer. I don't know if you've heard about that. They use oxygen to treat cancer patients.
This vibration thing you're saying, what kind of?
It's a vibration plate. When you go on it, it vibrates your body.
Okay.
So it allows oxygen to flow through your body. So there are 9 benefits of using that vibration plates. And on my website, on my Instagram page, we will
share that because I'm always very conscious of
on that page. You will see the 9 benefits of using that vibration plate.
Okay. Before you go into the last one, I'm just going to quickly look on the chat if there is anything just to break that. Someone has said they love the support of the husband. He's been mentioned constantly. Your husband again. I know that for a fact. Support system is very key. Support system was a very big one for my recovery also. So let's really, really, really support people who are going through this. Support system is a massive one in terms of recovery. And I know, Mabel's husband was extremely supportive. It's important to have support required to pull through. Exactly. Awesome. God, awesome. Truly, this is living by faith. Thank you for sharing your story. God's mercy will continue to uphold you. Someone said, why did Mabel refuse treatment initially? Yeah, we had talked about that. It was faith.
It's ignorant.
One, and also all the things that she had heard about chemo. All stuff. Chemo is bad. Chemo is this. Chemo is that. We need to take into our beliefs. We need to take into our belief that blaming witches and wizards for our situations. We need more awareness for people to consult physicians. So very true. Let's consult our physicians. I don't know if this is a question. Is it chemotherapy to keep you alive? I don't know what that question is. Maybe I started talking about nutrition, but she stopped. Can she shed some more light on how nutrition is helping in her fight? Touch on nutrition very quickly, please. How does your nutrition? I think you talked about that. You talked about reducing carbohydrates, increasing vegetables,
Can
right?
I
Yeah.
explain a bit how
Okay.
powerful nutrition is?
Okay.
Nutrition is what feed our body cells. And if you look at our body cells, it has two atoms. So those two atoms, if they are complete, it's like a defense system that God has given to us. But if you're lacking in nutrition, one of the atom miss, then you have given room to free radicals to come in and affect the body cells. So your aim is to protect your atoms not to break. And what protects those atoms is nutrients. Once you
Okay.
give your body the right nutrients, like fueling your car. If you put water in the fuel tank, it's not going to move. If you put if your car is using diesel and you put petrol, it's not going to work. So over time, a lot of people have not been feeding their body cells. They feed their stomach. And I analyzed about raw food and cooked food. Cooked food is nice, but if you taste it, there's no majority of the nutrients have been killed. So a lot of us are starving ourselves. So you have to find a way to get nutrient into your body by eating raw food. So you eat this raw food in form of juicing, in form of smoothie, in form of salad. That's why I'm so passionate about promoting things that help people to eat right. People, things that can help you eat raw food. So don't try not to cook your food. Try and eat them raw. So my nutritionist, I got a nutritionist when this challenge started, and she started educating me on eating raw food. In fact, I was on raw food for like 6 months with
Okay.
the right supplements. And do you know that when I went back to the hospital in 2019, in fact, one of the doctors, I was trying to get dates, they would do my mastectomy, and the guy was like, I don't think we're going to do any operation. I said, what do you mean by you're not going to do any operation? I said, there is no need. I said, wow, you've given up on me before I give up on myself. So you're not going to do any operation for me. I said, okay, we'll see how far we can go. So at that time, I got this particular product. A friend of mine called me and she was like, maybe I've heard a lot about this product. Please, I need you to start it. My husband got those products and it was almost 1.5 million we spent in buying those products, and it lasted us for 6 months.
Naira, by the way, not pounds.
Naira,
Just saying.
1.5 million naira we use in getting those products in 2019. So when I started on those products, do you know that the breast that was in vaccine, the tumor started shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. When I got to the hospital for one of my regular checks, they were like, wow, they had to do this operation very fast, that very soon they are not going to get skin to graft anymore when they do the mastectomy. And this is the doctor that said that they are not going to do that operation. So you can't leave your life to them totally. You have to do your own part while they are doing their parts.
Okay.
So actually, I would not say it's chemo that actually speed up that shrinking. It was the supplement I was taking by the grace
Yeah.
of God.
And I guess this boosts your immune system.
It
Someone said,
boosted my immune system.
how do you boost your immune system? Through
It's by
food?
nutrients. You boost your immune system by
Okay.
taking the right nutrients. So, like I said, from raw food, from taking the right supplements and water.
Okay.
85% of the fluid in our body is water. So if you get
Okay.
your water right, you get your life right.
Okay. Someone said to encourage us trying to eat healthy, try to plant some things in a space. That's true. People plant
That's
things now in their
yes.
pots at
If you have
home.
the space, you can actually do that.
Yeah.
If not, go for organic food, please, if you can.
Yeah. Okay, so just go on to the last one,
So
fasting.
the fasting. Yes, I'm quickly going to talk about sauna. Sauna is part of your fitness plan. Sauna is like a heat blanket. You know, when you go to the gym, you have sauna, the heat, the steam room that steams your body. The good thing about that steam is that it steams toxins out of your body. So when you're sweating out, you're sweating toxins. And that's what sport exercise does for you. When you're doing exercise and you're sweating, toxins are coming out of your body. So sauna helps for that also. So you can get the heat blanket. I have the heat blanket. I did it this morning, went on it for 1 hour. I heat my body and the sweat comes out. So every time I have treatment, I try to do that. In 2 weeks, I go into that sauna blanket for like 3 times before I go back to the hospital. So it's a way of eliminating toxins off your body. And there
Yeah.
are some other drinks I also take that eliminate toxins. So there are loads of things out there that can actually help. I've tested these things and they've worked. In the hospital, they wonder. Every time I go, they're always like, in fact, last 2 weeks I went, the doctor was like, those cannot, in fact, he said, come. I went to him, he showed me the screen. He said, you see all these parts? The cancer cells are all dead. They are all dead there. And he was like, I don't understand. You've had over 45 chemo and you've never had infection. I am a wonder. The Bible said in Psalm 71, verse 7, he said, I'm as a wonder to many because of my God that is my refuge. God
Okay.
is
I'm
indeed
going to
my
move it.
refuge.
Pastors' wives talk like pastors. So I'm going to keep
So,
facilitating because we're going to be landing this soon. I'm always very particular about people's time. So again, we've said about food, we've talked about raw food. I've heard about the sauna thing too, that works. Caveat, these are the things that have worked, obviously, that Mabel has done, that have worked for her. There are some that are obviously generic. Fitness, I had to change my lifestyle also. I'm still struggling to be doing my fitness, even if it's just 30 minutes every day to walk.
every
So
day.
the fitness, the food you eat, obviously very important. And yeah, you want to go on to
So
the
the
last
last one is
one
fasting.
very quickly in 2 minutes. So that if
Fasting,
anyone has,
fasting, what fasting does is that it eliminates toxins off your body.
okay,
So when we're talking about this fasting, I want to thank my friend IJ. She's my mentor when it comes to fasting. I'm still learning. So you fast for like 3 days, and fasting puts your body into autophagy. And what autophagy does is like recycling. It goes into your body and begin to recycle your body cells. If food is not coming in anymore, then the body tells the brain that you have to source for energy. So what the brain now does in search of energy, it goes into your body and begin to eat up the dirty things there, eat up the dead cells, eat up anything that can give it energy. So in that way, you're cleaning up your system and it kills bad cells. If you can do 3 days, like I do 3 days, just water. The days I'm going to do my fast, I try to do 3 days in a month. If I can do three days first 2 weeks, another 3 days second week, or some days I go for 5 days at a stretch, just water for those days. So it eats up those bad cells. So it's called autophagy. If you can go on Google and do more research. The benefits of autophagy is very good, very, very good. So that's what fasting does. And also I have a write-up on my page about it. So you can do like a 1 day fast, 3 days fast. I think they are called 12 hour, 24 hours, 48 hours, 54 hours, and 72 hours. So each one has its own benefits. It tells you what is happening in your body as you do it. So fasting is very, very essential when you're going through cancer. It helps
okay.
you.
Thank you
So
so
those are
much.
the 4 Fs.
People have people have asked, no beef, no chicken, no water, the change pots again. As I said, these are things that have worked. I believe everything is in moderation. So we're not saying don't eat
Don't take
chicken,
it.
don't eat beef, don't everything
The
in
chicken is
moderation.
because of the hormones. If you know the secret behind chicken, you will they use hormones to grow them for 42
Okay,
days.
it's in moderation.
It's in
So that we
moderation,
don't we
but
don't let
I
people
eliminate
not
it
eat.
because of the hormones, the chemical it puts in my body. I
Yeah.
can eat it
So
once in
those
a
are
while, but try, and if you can, just try and go for organic if you can. Then turkey,
yeah.
I heard turkey cannot stand hormones, so they don't use hormones, but I've not really done my research to know how true it is. But you can do your research. So if you really want to keep your body safe, you can get rid of these things or eat them in moderation.
Okay. Thank you. I just want to make sure if anybody wants to share some things before we sort of round up. I don't want to, yes, I want us to land this. Can you share we'll share that Okay, is there any question that we want to ask? That I know someone talked about finances. If you want to ask any question very quickly, you can raise up your hands and we'll call you, or comment or share an experience, or maybe you might be going through something similar and you want to ask any burning question. If you want to do that, let me know, or share an experience. And yes, I'm happy for us to stop recording if anyone has any personal experience they want to share, but they don't want us to record it, because I'd like us to learn this soon. So thank you, Mabel, for all you've shared. As I've said, so Mabel has talked about her 4 Fs, which is faith, food, fasting, and fitness. I had to go through those two: faith, food, fasting, and fitness. So fitness helps. It's good to change your diet. Once you start having things like this, you need to change your diet. Again, we're doing this just to get it out there. Early detection saves lives. Go for treatment if you are told to go for treatment. Right. So I was trying to see who wanted to talk. So Faith, could you say something, please?
Yeah,
You
hi,
can
good
unmute,
evening.
Faith. Yeah.
Yes, sure. Can you hear me now?
Good evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, good evening. And
Yes, we can hear you.
thank you both for sharing your stories.
Thank
So I had my uncle passed away and my auntie as well from cancer, and
So sorry about
they
that.
didn't tell anyone about it. Obviously they told their children, but I'm just wondering, because one of the biggest things with us Africans is we just don't talk enough and we don't communicate about the things going on in our
Yeah.
lives. Why? Well, if you can answer it, that would be great. But why do we find it so difficult? Is it because of taboo, or, yeah, we just don't share that experience because a lot of us never had the chance to say goodbye to them. Because obviously, if you know what's going to happen, it's better you inform the people you love.
Yeah. I'll take that. I'm so sorry for your loss. And this is one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing. This is the main reason for me why this has become like a lifelong mission for me. Going through that process, going through the journey, is when I realized that a lot of people have this and they don't say anything about it. It's because of the stigma. It's because of our culture. It's because of our faith, sometimes, that we've said here. And it's because also sometimes the people around us actually don't make it easy for us to speak out. So what we're doing here is, the more of us who've been through this journey and are speaking out, we begin to encourage others to be able to speak out and reach out. So that's what I say, we need to start speaking out and reaching out. The more we talk about it, the more help we get, the more support we get. You're very right. I do know a few people who, they said nothing about it, as I said, swore their spouses to secrecy until it was too late. Because there's that stigma around it. There's that, oh gosh, I'm a Christian, how can I say I have cancer? There's just so much around it. So this is why we're doing what we're doing, and that's all we can do. And we're going to keep talking, we're going to keep speaking about it to the point where it will be no big deal. And the more people are talking about it, then the more help you will receive. And that's just it. It's just a cultural thing, really. So I am sorry to hear about that, but we're hoping that the more we keep doing this, we will get to that point where we'll reduce that mortality rate. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for sharing that.
If quickly, sorry, Faith, to hear about your loss, like Fola said. Another thing I'm going to say is that don't just speak out, but speak to the right people. Seek for the right people that have the right knowledge and information to give to you. For instance, I didn't speak out because I didn't even have the right people around me. So I didn't just want to speak to people that will start telling me, oh, do this, do that, different people bringing in their suggestion. That is one thing that do happen when you speak out. They will just tell you different things. So you don't want to speak to people that will give you wrong information on what to do, but go for right consultation, go for the right people. We have families and friends who are doctors, who are nurses, or who are nutritionists. Nutritionists are another people I will advise you to go. I was lucky to speak out to my friend that is a food nutritionist. And my speaking out to her was what saved my life, because I was so close to death, so close to the extent that I couldn't even hold bottle. To cook, my husband had to go to work because that was the only way we could get money to feed and pay our bills. So I have to be at home with the children. So I can't even lift a pot. I couldn't lift a pot. It was my son I would call, Daniel, please help me. He will put the pot there. I will squat on the sink and tell them what to put inside, you know. So my speaking out was one thing that saved me, and lucky me, I spoke to the right person. So please, let's always speak to the right people.
Could I just say there, so and I understand what you're saying about speaking to the right people, but the more we keep doing this, so that we're also educating those people who we're saying are not the right people to know how to handle this. So the more we're speaking, it becomes something that we all know what it's about, and we all learn how to help people in this area, how to support people in this area. Sister Lillian, quickly, you can unmute 2 minutes.
Yeah, I've put that question on the chat. It hasn't been read out. I only just asked about honey.
Honey.
Yeah, taking honey.
Yeah, I guess people take honey. I think what she's asking is honey okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, honey can be okay, but if you are in a desperate need for help, you want to really reduce taking sweet things, because they all end up as sweet. Even fruits that we thought was good, fruit ends up as sugar, and these cancer cells, they feed on it. So take it in moderation, as in if you can't leave it, just leave it. Like I take date powder, but sometimes I don't even want to take it just for health reason. But if you can eliminate it, try, especially when you are 40. From 40 onwards, start fighting fat, and sugar is fat. That's what ends up as fat. So any of those things that ends up as fat, let's get rid of them. If you can, just try and take it in a moderation, little, please.
So take in moderation. Okay, quickly, Olatokunbo. You can unmute. We're going to
all right, Folake and Mabel, thank you very much.
So this is my cousin that I've told people a lot when I was going through my journey, and when I was supporting other people. She lives in the US. She's a doctor, and she's the one I would go to, send people's reports. What should they do here? What should they do there? But yeah, I'll over to you. I'll let you say what then.
Well, yes, needless to say, then last year it was my turn. And I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I was very devastated. I was scared because as a physician, I knew what that meant or what it could mean. So, you know, as I was taking different tests and everything, I got more and more scared because I knew that the result of that test determined how far along I was, and therefore what the, you know, treatment journey and everything would be. And I would say I did break down, and my husband just saw me in a way that he hadn't seen me before. And he just said to me, look, Allah, we're going to have an attitude of gratitude. We're going to be thankful to God that it was found, right? We're going to be thankful to God that we're in a place where it can be taken care of, there are treatment options and all of that stuff. And then God gave him Psalm 27, verse 13, which says, I remain confident of this. I will see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. However, I want to stress that as Christians, we should know that death is part of living. And a lot of times we are scared of death, but we all want to go to heaven. So, but I just want us to be able to process and work through, that even in death, there's testimony. And when we get sucked into thinking as a Christian, how can I have cancer? We're basically saying that it was in our hand, it's our power, right? If I pray very much, if I do this as much, if I'm doing this well, then none of these things would happen to me. And we should really try not to fall into that. We really should lean and just fall into God's arms and realize that his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And there sometimes, and we're all going to die at some point, and it could be the time for us. And there's still testimony even in that. So I just wanted to encourage us that we should not be scared of death, because that's one of the things that the enemy has over us. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you, Folake, and thank you, Mabel, for everything that you said.
Thanks, Ola, for being here. Just as a whatever, so we lost a cousin earlier this year, to cancer. So yeah, this is why we're here. We're speaking for as much as, we can do something, do what we need to do. I mean, it's different from you get this thing, you just sit at home and do nothing, or you don't speak, or, you think it's a stigma or all that. Speak out and reach out. And lastly, very shortly, peace.
Fola, can I just chip in something regarding Ola?
It has to be really quick.
Yes, I know
1 minute.
Is so fast.
I'm always very
just to support what she said. I know we're all gonna die, but at time the Bible had given us the age we need to go. And if you want to live according to God's plan, then you have to know the right thing to do. Speak the right words. Eliminate fear. And one way you eliminate fear is faith. So speak the right word to yourself. I will not die but live to declare the goodness of God in the land of the living. Then do the works. He said faith without works is dead. Do the works that will help you to live. So let's eliminate fear by speaking faith-filled words and doing the works that supports faith. And that's what we're sharing today, please.
Amen.
No fear.
Okay, peace very quickly, so we learn this. I do appreciate people's time, and I don't like keeping people for so long. Peace, you can unmute for a minute.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm a 4 years cancer survivor.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Though I've had 3 reoccurrence. So I just wanted to add it to what you said. Most times, why some people they don't like speaking out is because of the stigma and what people will say and different suggestions, and they don't know how to go about it. And as a survivor, most times the fear of going back to the hospital, you don't know what they are going to tell you. Like in my own case, in June, I noticed a lump in my other breast. I was like, I'm tired of chemotherapy. I'm tired of going back to the hospital, doing biopsy and all that. So I tried using natural means. I met them on Facebook, and someone told me about them. This is a holistic method of killing cancer. I tried it 1 month. There was no improvement. And I noticed the lump was just getting bigger.
Yes.
And I just told myself, I just have to go back to the hospital. And it was coming with serious back pain. I was like, no, what is wrong with me? Every time I will keep messaging my doctor. I used to show him the things I'm using. He will be like, I cannot force you to come to the hospital. You will tell me you will come this week, you will come next week. You will not still come. So when it was like a month and 2 weeks, I just said to go back to the hospital. And it was like, we've done the chemotherapy infusion for you. Let's try the tablets, chemotherapy tablets. And that same week when I said the chemotherapy tablet, that was the loader, I noticed, like when I said taking it, it was up to a week, the pain reduced. And in the 3rd week, the lump was reducing gradually. Then I kept asking him, is it not time for me to remove this other one? Because I already removed the left one in 2020. It was like, I like the way you are. You are even the one asking us that you want to remove the second one. I said anything to keep myself alive. It's better not to have two birds than to just die young like that. So it was not. So my major contribution is early detection. Go to the hospital when you feel any abnormality in your body and remove fear. The treatment does not kill. You just have to look for a way to subside the side effects. According to what you said, water fasting helps a lot. That there are some people that are on chemotherapy, they can do water fasting for 1 day. They eat more vegetable and they reduce their carbohydrates. Those things can actually subside the side effect of chemotherapy.
Very well. Very
Yeah,
well.
lots of water, to clean water, alkaline water. It really helps. You can take chemotherapy and that same week you are looking like you did not take chemotherapy. I'm a living testimony of that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
God bless you, please.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, and God bless you, and the Lord will continue to be with you, and healing is your
Amen.
portion.
Amen.
Okay.
Thank
Amen.
Okay,
Amen.
and the
Thank
last person to make a comment, Ayodele. Thank you, everyone. Sorry for keeping you. Normally we end this before this, but just so much to say, and I just want to allow people to be able to talk. We will be landing this within the next 3 minutes. Yes, Ayodele.
Yes, thank you for taking my question. I don't really have a comment per se, but I was wondering if this meeting was recorded for those of us who missed the first part. And then the second question was, Sister Mabel talked about a supplement that she used, and a lot of people have been asking what supplement was that, if that could be shared with us as well.
Mabel, can you put it in the chat, please?
Okay.
The name. Yeah, because I know she takes some supplements, and I know that supplements do work. Thank you to everyone for coming. It's been amazing. I'm really grateful for having so many people here. Maybe I'll just share a final word in 30 seconds. Just to say, these sessions will be going on either monthly or bi-monthly. It won't be this long. Normally we do it in like an hour, 15 minutes. But I just felt that this was so important for Mabel to share this. I feel like seeing anyone who might be going through this, seeing both of us, you know that there is hope and that you can stand. And also this support system thing about people talking. Let's learn how to support people. Let's not, put people in a situation where they don't talk about it. Let's make it easy for people to talk about it and just support people in their journey. Yes, Mabel, final words.
So my final word for everyone is that cancer does not kill. All you need to do is to eliminate fear by faith. And thirdly, eat right. Don't feed your cells. Don't feed your stomach, feed your cells. Please, that is very important. If you do this and get your water right while you're taking the treatment, like P said, the treatment helps a lot. I want to encourage our Black community, speak out, speak out. The doctors are there and they will help you. The cancer is a very aggressive disease. It spreads very fast. But if it's detected early, they can manage it in the way that you will not even know that you are affected with cancer. So let's encourage everyone to speak out for help. Myself and Fola were here, were reachable at any time. Please, if you need any counsel, if you need any help, we're here to help you. And if you know anyone undergoing cancer, please reach out to them, encourage them to speak out. They will get help anytime. So I want to encourage everyone to take care of their health, do your regular checks, try and go for private mammogram if it's not the time for you to use the NHS free one. Early detection saves life. Treatment saves life. Your holistic treatment saves your life. And like I said, over 45 chemo, I've not had one infection, all by the grace of God. So please, let's speak out. We're here to help you. And at the end, we will share my page, like Fola will share it. So you can go there, have tips on how to live healthy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mabel, for coming. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I'm sharing this, as I said, Pink Smile is a charity that is going to be used in supporting people going through this journey, supporting people financially, supporting people emotionally, physically, supporting people even in Nigeria, which is my home country, which we've done already, supporting people through chemo, through radiotherapy, and even here, people sometimes have to go on holiday. They've utilized all their holiday and then they're struggling financially. We're hoping that at some point, I had the opportunity when I went through radiotherapy of people who volunteer, will pick me up from home for my radiotherapy treatments, take me to Addenbrooke's, and then bring me back. So I'm hoping that by God's grace, we'll be able to do that also and get people who can volunteer to take people. So if you want in any way to support, these are the Pink Smile account details. My contact number is there, Instagram at Floadirojo or at Pink Smile Charity. You can reach out to me that way. And thank you, thank you, thank you again from everybody. I really, really do appreciate it. I don't take your time for granted on a Friday evening to have you all here. And thank you, Fola and Tosan, for your support there. So that will be it, really. And thank you, and hope to see you again in the next program, maybe next month or in the next couple of months. Thanks so much. If anyone wants to stay to ask any question, please
Thank you
feel free
so
to
much
do
for
so.
joining
Thank
and
you
giving us
so
the
much.
opportunity